Hello and a very warm welcome back to the UK edition. It is getting a little warmer, isn't it? Spring is in the air, daffodils are out. We've just celebrated International Women's Day, so a good time to look at the remarkable achievements of so many women. A good time to say, wow, as the slogan goes for Women of the World. And we say wow first in Leicester and then see the unique ways in which so many Sikh women have celebrated and have had reason to celebrate.
The Women of the World movement dropped anchor in Leicester this week to pick up the contributions of remarkable women working in the Midlands area of Britain. A number of awards were handed out to women who have done far more than the usual in reaching out to others.
I believe that you don't have to work for any particular charity. I think everybody should be charitable. And the work that I do is I like to go out. I'm trying to set up a scheme around adopting a grandparent scheme. So there's lots of elderly people out there that are lonely. And I work on the radio as a radio presenter, and often they ring me on my radio program. And sometimes I have nobody else to talk to. And they ring on the radio program every couple of hours when the presenter changes. They get to talk to someone. And I've been networking with some of these elderly people, and you don't know how grateful they are when you go and see them and sit with them. And what's 5 minutes of our time? Sometimes it's just making a call in the morning saying, "Kaise ho, theek ho," that kind of thing. And it really, really just helps them in their everyday life.
So I've been supporting women who've been suffering abuse for about 15 years, advocating on their behalf, getting injunctions out at court for them, and many various different streams, organising groups that they can go to talk about what they've been going through. And I think apart from that, I also have been working with families whose children have been affected with abuse as well. So the effects on children and how it affects them, what support they need. And from there, I became a professional trainer. So I've been delivering domestic abuse and legislation training to police, social services, to various family support agencies who work with victims.
I'm doing a support group for women with, Asian women with alcohol-related problems, because I feel like it's a problem that needs to be addressed, and it's like a vast, like women are drinking a lot, just like men. They're doing all the jobs that men do, going out more, socialising more, and alcohol is freely available. And I think it's a growing problem that really, really needs to be addressed. And women don't want to go to Alcohol Anonymous or doctors, and sometimes they're just they're very shy away from that, and they keep it to themselves. So with this group, we want them to, it's all very confidential, and we want to bring them out and, to address it a little. So
I work in arts in health, using creativity to bring sort of societies together, bring social interaction. And the big thing I want to tackle is with my partner Nita Kaur and an ambassador Karen Jutla, is to tackle the stigma around mental health, but also use the tools of creativity to tackle this subject, because a lot of our Asian communities and black communities across the world don't want to admit that there is a problem with mental health issues. We need to address this situation because there's lots and lots of people suffering in silence. So I want to basically make a plea to people watching this to please come forward as an organisation to support us.
The women making these contributions were brought together by journalist and author Nirmala Bhojani.
WOW is Women of the World. And whenever I was meeting women, I think, oh wow, I want to write a story about her, because they would tell me what they were doing. And it became a part of my psyche to kind of think, I want to meet these people and I want to do something to recognize their achievements.
For many women in Leicester, it's been a long journey from the days of expulsion from Uganda to such achievements.
When they were expelled from Uganda, even they came, life was very, very difficult. They were like refugees, coming here, building their homes, setting up families. But one thing they did not leave was their self-confidence, determination. And they didn't want to go on the benefits or anything, they wanted to work. And they buy their own homes, set up and look after their own families. And many of them, they encourage their husbands to go into businesses, entrepreneurs. So Leicester, especially if you see Belgrave Road, Golden Mile, It's not only the men who worked hard, it's the women behind them.
Sejal Moda.
With Sanjay, Suri in London, this is Megha Mamgen on News 18.
And I can see her husband's just arrived.
It's been 350 years since the birth of Guru Gobind Singh, and so it was decided to celebrate the achievements of 350 Sikh women to mark that occasion along with International Women's Day. Now, how's that for an idea? So let's join some of these Sikh women, see how they have succeeded, see how they draw inspiration as they should from the life and the teachings of Guru Gobind Singh Ji.
The achievements of Sikh women were marked at an event in London earlier this week. The event was a bridge between International Women's Day and the 350th birth anniversary of Guru Gobind Singh. And the successes of Sikh women clearly spanned many fields.
This event is really important because you tend to see a lot of lists, maybe by the Times, a magazine or some other global list talking about the highest achievers. And we see it as a responsibility for us to actually give a platform and profile our women that are doing amazing stuff in various fields. So today we're going to hear from women in the arts, in the sports and politics and the various fields. And
several outstanding Sikh women achievers joined the celebration.
It's always a proud feeling coming from the Sikh ethnicity and the Sikh culture. I think representing England in itself is a massive achievement. I mean, every time I put on the England shirt, I'm not just representing my family, my surname and my faith and obviously the Sikh community, but I'm representing the country.
I was one of them people where I was very persistent, I was very determined, and it's what I live to do. I love and breathe what I do. And I promised myself that that's all I'm going to do in my life. I will get there, and I don't care how hard it is being Sikh. It doesn't matter what race you are. I don't believe race matters in any job you do in this world. Race and religion should never come into it.
Coming to the UK to work and to sing and record Kirtan, I've met a lot of brilliant Sikh women here. I feel like the women that I've come in contact with here are very motivated and have a sense of knowing of what they want and a fearlessness about going for it, which is very liberating, especially if you look at the history of how far women have come throughout time. It's great to see this fearlessness and this zest for life.
But through the celebrations came a reminder how much more women could and should be doing.
There are Sikh women now coming forward, but the most important thing is that they need more support. They need more support from our male members, our youngsters. I think it is attitude towards Sikh women is not positive as yet, but it should come. And also I would say there are lots of barriers in politics which we need to come over. And one of them is really politics. We need to have some positive steps taken by the government and implemented properly.
I'm quite a regular at the Gurdwara, local Gurdwara, and I also do Kirtan myself, so I have quite a connection with the Sikh culture and the community. For sure, I have a lot of family and a lot of friends that are Sikh females who are very proud to be Sikh, and they follow out their daily rituals and prayers just as a normal Sikh girl.
On a day-to-day basis, I would say that people around me have a lot of respect for who I am. And my outward appearance, me wearing the star, is a reflection of my inner values, and they can see that. So I think it has, on the whole, been positive. When I do go into some environments, I do get raised eyebrows, and people are very confused because they don't see very many women who wear the stars. And I often like it actually when they do question why. I rather people ask why than are left not knowing. And the answer to that would be that, to me, the beauty of Sikhi is that the Gurus said that women have equal status to men, and there is no separate rules for men and women. So when it came for me taking Amrit, it was an easy choice to make, that the star should be equally for a man as it is for a woman.
With Sanjay, Suri in London, this is Edwin Thomas for News 18.
Let's not forget that there are reasons to say wow and not celebrate. A documentary on Sabeen Mahmood, who was shot dead in Karachi 2 years ago, reminds us of the price that many women, too many women, have had to pay for speaking up for their rights and for the rights of others.
Pakistani rights activist Sabeen Mahmood was shot dead in Karachi 2 years ago, minutes after holding a meeting over Baluchi people who've disappeared. These are issues she had also raised in London at the South Bank. Now a short documentary commemorates her struggle and what she stood and worked for.
Sabeen Mahmood was a woman from Karachi who created the Second Floor Cafe, which was a space for open dialogue and artistic expression. It was essentially a cafe, but it was also a place where writers and liberal thinkers and artists could come and discuss their work and have open dialogue. In its essence, it was a very critical, important space in a place like Karachi, which is so wrecked with violence.
Sabeen always thought the problem with Karachi was people don't talk. If people don't talk to each other, they don't converse, then they'll only bring out guns and shoot people.
She'd started to dream of this space where you can share ideas, where you can communicate, where you can have free speech and creative expression.
Sabeen said, fear is just a line in your head and you can choose which side of that line to stand on. And I think she really genuinely did stand on the other side of that line.
When you create this aura around somebody, that this person is actually somehow anti-state, this person is somehow not patriotic enough, this person has short hair, he wants to drive a motorbike. But you also start saying that this person is fearless. That's when in Pakistan you actually begin to mark a person. You begin to mark a person for death.
Everybody felt quite passionately that the legacy of Sabeen Mahmood should be preserved. And I felt that we should come down to the South Bank, where Sabeen had created an installation to represent Karachi.
The documentary was directed by Annabel Marshall from London with a lot of support within Karachi.
We had worked with some great partners in Karachi. Jami Mahmood, who is a feature film director, he gave his time and his crew very generously because he was a very big fan of Sabeen Mahmood and all the work that she did. So he really wanted to preserve her legacy. So he said, anything you need, I'll make it available to you. And we also work with a documentary filmmaker called Mo Naqvi, who has made several documentaries on Pakistan recently. So we had a great crew in Karachi supporting us.
They disappeared and others without rights still need a voice.
There certainly is still a lot of work to be done. She just promoted social justice and open dialogue for all, and so it wasn't like she campaigned for any singular subject, and all sorts of things happened at T2F, from science workshops, poetry recitals to political discussions on free speech and Baluchistan. So yes, I mean there is still a lot of work to be done. I mean T2F is carrying on the fight. It's still open, still going, and it's a very dedicated team keeping it going.
With Sanjay Suri in London, this is Deepika Kaura for News 18.
That was in Pakistan, but of course it's not just in Pakistan but in India too and elsewhere that women have shown strength and then have had to suffer for it. Something to think about over a very short break, and then let's see what the Indian state elections brought here in Britain. Welcome back. Quite a political tsunami we've seen in India, where Modi swept through Uttar Pradesh, where the Badal rule was swept out of Punjab. The election in UP found a very loud echo here in London.
As the results of the Uttar Pradesh elections came in, one group was celebrating more than many others. A meeting of the overseas friends of the BJP was called at a restaurant in North London, and they could hardly believe that the party had done far better than anyone had hoped.
This is a historical win, and when we think of the opposition, two young men were telling everybody, but now I can tell that two 9-year-old girls cannot make a 18 years beautiful girl. So they must understand now what they meant and what we mean. It's a wonderful victory for Shah, and there are 3 elections coming, so every state will become the BJP state in near future.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a vote for development, performance, governance, all the 3 things which Modi ji stands for and what BJP stands for. People are talking about social engineering and all that stuff. I think that's just, that's superficial. The point is, today an average person of India, irrespective whether you're from Maharashtra, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, people want to grow economically, people want prosperity, people want equality, people want to aspire. And in Modi ji they see that vehicle where they can achieve their dreams.
The BJP group was riding the top of a huge wave of support for Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the UK.
Everybody has sent some messages to their friends and relatives as well to go for BJP, and we get a lot of messages that, oh, this is BJP, this is BJP. When we won Mumbai, so many relatives of mine rang me and told me, oh, BJP is winning, BJP is winning.
People in Britain are happy. Like पहले we used to say क्या होगा, कुछ नहीं होगा, हम हार जाएंगे, ऐसा है वैसा है, they have corruption. It's all gone. People are changing. People are voting not only with their heart but more importantly with their brains of who is the correct party for entire India to go forward.
Narendra Modi has found a particular kind of popularity among the Indian youth in Britain.
Most of the youngsters are connected with the message which Modi ji has given, which is nation first, which is a very empowering message, and we want to do as much as possible for the country. That's why we are also supporting a lot of initiation taken by Modi ji, like the Ganga project. We are donating money there, and we are providing the platforms and integrating more closely with back home. So that's what keeping us connected with the country, and it gives us a lot of happiness and encouragement when we see the country is developing and progressing, and the whole image of the country since Modi ji's visit to UK has been very positive. When you meet your colleagues from other countries, other part of the world, they're talking about India, they're talking about investment in India, and there's a positive message, and they want to go and visit India and see how the country is. So that's a big achievement for us, and it gives a big hope and energy to do more for the country as much as we can while we're working here.
If I look back in history, I look back at where our family came from, where our parents came from, and like so many others of British-born Indians, there is always that connection with India, whether it's gone through the East African route or whether it's gone directly through the Indian route. I think ever since Modi ji was Chief Minister, and particularly after his first term, you will see the Indian community here that here is a leader who is delivering on governance. We've had so much misgovernance in India over the last so many years. This was a ray of hope. Ever since he won his second election, he won his third election. Since that, when he came into the fold as the Prime Minister candidate back in September 2013, the BJP named him as the Prime Minister candidate, everybody got behind him. And it was not just the Indians, it was Indians not just in UK, all around the world. Everybody knew that this was one leader who can take India forward, and he got the election, he won the election on a majority after 30 odd years.
With Sanjay, Suri in London, this is Vaibhav Verma for News 18.
And did the election in Punjab find an echo or more? A lot of British Punjabis, it seems, took a hand in that election.
The elections in Punjab were fiercely contested and they drew a strong turnout, but they came with a helping hand from Britain.
It's huge. Thousands and thousands of Punjabi youth, particularly under the age of 35, visited Punjab during this elections. It's a strange, but it's a huge numbers. But the majority people from here went for Congress party and Aam party. Very few for any other Akali party and others. But the large number of people from UK went to Punjab and shown interest in the Punjab elections. There's a large young people has been coming to Britain as students and the new professionals who wanted to get further training but have the plans to go back. So they have that interest because they are the first generation arrived here in the last 5-10 years ago, and they still have those connections and the relationship with people. They have seen the development, and they wanted, after living in Europe, they wanted to have the changes introduced in Punjab on the basis of the Western way of life rather than the local way of life.
Neerpal Shergill is an active journalist and businessman in both Britain and Punjab and is seeing increased involvement from the UK.
A lot of them, and now even now when their election results are there, all the people from with different parties, from the Congress as well as from Akali Dal and from Aam Aadmi Party, lot of people are there, and they sent a lot of money as well. Though sometimes they do fishy things that they give by hand, we don't like it. But on the other hand, they accept. All the leaders come here to get money. They come here to ask for the votes and the notes.
I, Amarinder Singh, do swear in the name of God.
It's not just at election time. All Punjab parties have their chapters in the UK and they remain active, particularly in Gurudwara elections.
People still have those relationships and the links with Punjab and the Punjab politics. And the majority people and the young people wanted to go back and settle in Punjab. And they wanted to see the Punjab, the foundation laid on the values they have now secured in Europe. And they wanted to see that change. That's why they are influencing it, they're making their contacts and making sure that if and when they go back, what kind of the policies they wanted to see, and that's where their relationship with the Akali Party, Congress Party and other political parties are there.
Unfortunately, the foreign national cannot compete in the elections, but still a lot of NRIs, they have got interest, a lot of interest. And they go, for example, people like us, they go every month there, and they have got very much interest in the politics. Since 1969, they are having an Indian Overseas Congress, Akali Dal, and Communist Party of India, and other parties as well.
The Punjab parties are present in Britain also to deal with problems Punjabis in Britain may face back home.
There was an NRI Sabha established in Jalandhar since 1996 by Congress Chief Minister Rajinder Kaur Patel. After that, immediately, the next Chief Minister was Prakash Singh Badal since 1997. So he has been ruling there, and in between 5 years were having the Congress, Maharaja Amarinder Singh was the Chief Minister from 2002 to 2007. But NRIs have got a lot of problems there. Their properties are taken, and their relatives have sold their properties by meeting the Tahsildars and other people. So they always need the leaders, and the leaders take the money and they do the favors to them. It is like that I scratch your back, you will scratch mine. So this is a relationship.
With Sanjay Suri in London, this is Vaibhav Verma for News 18.
That's it for now, and let's see next weekend where Brexit may take Britain and where it may not. Stay with us here on News 18.